So I used to get into class. I was actually kicked out of school once because of school fees. And then now my cousin, who had not talked to me in forever, another one, she was like, Njeri, where are you? You're in school. I'm in school. She's like, have you paid school fees? No. Are you planning to do exams? I don't know. So what are you doing in school? Because I used to just stay in a class who could do. Then she was like, so what are you doing in school? I told her, I don't know. I'm just finishing my project. Then maybe if school fees comes, at least I'll have a project.
Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Mwangi Monday, where we discuss all things governance. I have a guest in studio for this series, Dorcas Njeri. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
I am so grateful that you're here.
Yeah.
So introduce yourself first to our guest before we get into our conversation.
Okay, so my name is Njeri Njoroge Dorcas. I'm a graduate architect who's just started practicing. I'm also a photographer and videographer part-time. I love to cook, I love to sing. I'm a daughter of an amazing mother, firstborn of 2 younger brothers. Yeah, I'm a lover of life. Yeah, it's good to be here. And
you really are a lover of life. It's really good. I'm really happy that you're here. And today we want to discuss about the 6-year journey in architecture school, the story of a million little miracles. But I was also reflecting and thinking the first day I met you was also a miracle. I didn't know that this was all, so much was going to happen. But anyway, tell us the story of your architecture school journey and the miracles that have taken place.
Wow. So thank you so much for having me here, Pastor Angie. So let me actually talk about the day we met, which was Bold for Impact, which was a family talk. And after we met, I remember that's when you, I just come to say hi because I had heard a lot about you. So then in the middle, you were like, let's pray. And then you asked me, are you born again? I was like, everybody's born again. Like I was born again, yeah. So then you're like, no, let's say, are you willing to say the salvation prayer? I was like, yes. Then I got born again. And the next time I had an encounter with you was actually when I was fired from an internship. That's when I actually texted you and I was telling you, Pastor Angie, my life has reached the end. I was like, why am I being fired? And then that's when now you were able to let me, help me to get into PLF. So the story of architecture. So for me, my degree, my 2 degrees, I say they're all miracles. Because when I joined first year, the reason I took architecture is because one of my aunties was advising me that since you're very smart, because I used to be a smart kid, like me, I was a kid, the smartest kid. I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm still smart, but she was like, I wanted to do fine arts because when we were choosing subjects in high school, I ended up taking computer and music. But when I was seeing the art students, I was feeling so jealous. So I was wondering, I want to do this. So I said, I'm going to do fine arts. Then my auntie told me, you're smart, go for the highest level of art that can be achieved. So that's when I decided to start looking up architecture. I got so intrigued, so I chose architecture. And now, when I got into first year, when I told my dad that this is what I want to do, he told me that, no, don't do it because of one reason or another. I'm from a polygamous family. So the previous siblings who really tried very hard courses, they didn't pass or they had to leave them. So I think he had that fear. But then I fought it. I remember we were fighting. And then he was like, you know what, if this is what you want to do, he released a blessing. And he said, it's okay, we don't know what will happen, but you will finish school. And then now when I got into first year, my dad and mom separated. And now we were left, it was just a confusing time generally. So starting first year, I'm in school, I went to JQuat, but I was able to join the Westlands campus. There was our campus that time that was offering architecture. And I was like, wow, I just came to Nairobi and I was like, what?
Because you were living in Mombasa, you were brought up in Ukunda.
Yes, so I was like, hey, Nairobi. Partying, oh God, is the only one who knows, yeah?
Did you come to party or to go to architecture?
I came to architecture, but there was things that were attached. Then, joining first year now when my dad and mom separated, cases in court, a lot of property was frozen, which until now, because they're still in the process, it's been almost 7 years now. So we lost a lot. My mom got unwell for a while. And I found myself in a course that I really love, that is extremely expensive, but I was very much alone because now I didn't have support. You know, my mom was everything to me. Like whatever I needed, my mom spoiled. Like she was like, what do you need? You want to do architecture? She was there. So when she got unwell, I was now all alone.
In a different place, because you're not even in Ukunda, you're in Nairobi.
I'm in Nairobi. So first, and when I got to architecture school, I got a hostel. So it became so hard for me to even afford being in a hostel. So now for the next almost 4 years, I was jumping from relatives to relative homes, relatives to relatives homes. And at the same time, now we don't have school fees. The truth is my 6 years in architecture, my mom says that we did a very expensive course for 6 years without her having anything in her bank account, because actually she never had anything. But God has just been, I don't know, just, you know, miracles.
After miracle.
Yeah.
People would provide for you.
First year, my cousin, first year is when I was meant to quit architecture, when I was doing my second semester, because now we are not allowed to do examinations if you've not cleared. So I even have a letter I wrote, which was saying I'm taking an academic leave, and I don't know when I'm going to come back, but you know, when I come back, at least I can come back. Then my cousin, the night before the examination, she was like, okay, there's no way you cannot do this. She was like, the way you've been translating, I never used to sleep. This was crazy. She was like, here, take some money, go finish the fees. And then she was like, I think I'll buy a land from your mom or something, you know, something. Then that was first year. Second year, my mom's best friend took up my school fees for 2 years.
Imagine.
For no, you know, I was like, why is she paying? Nothing.
She just took it upon
She was like,
herself.
no, this girl has to study 2 years. Then fourth year now money was out. I think also, you know, when you overstay, overdepend in a place, it can no longer serve you. So fourth year, when I was supposed to get my first degree, there was no money, for real. I used to go to school. I even had a lecturer who didn't like me because I used to sneak into class. I used to sneak in, and then he took me to the director twice to report me and say, this girl, she's not attending class. Then I'm like, but when I attend, you kick me out because of fees. Then he's like, but you're not supposed to be in class. Why are you treating yourself special and the others? Okay, because I think I thought I was extremely smart. So I used to get into class. I was actually kicked out of school once because of school fees. And then now my cousin, who had not talked to me in forever, another one. She was like, Njeri, where are you? You're in school. I'm in school. She's like, have you paid school fees? No. Are you planning to do exams? I don't know. So what are you doing in school? Because I used to just stay in a class. Then she was like, so what are you doing in school? I told her, I don't know. I'm just finishing my project. Then maybe if school fees comes, at least I'll have a project. Then she was like, come in. So she used to run marathons as a hobby. So, and her friends, I think there's a community who used to support her in the running because she's also in the army. She was also in the army at that time. Then she said, you know what, I'm going to do a fundraising for you. She said she just made a poster with my name. You know, there I was like, what? With my name, we need to make sure this girl finishes at least her degree, at least her first degree. The second one will know. Her first degree, and she just went for the marathon. People, her friends, came together, and my school fees was also paid a week before my last examinations of fourth year.
And this is fourth year?
That is fourth year. So now then when I graduated my first degree, my final mark wasn't very nice. But then I was so happy, and people were like, why are you celebrating? I was like, you guys, you have no idea what it took me to get this degree. And the thing is, I used to have so many small businesses in school, so people never used to know.
You've always been a hustler.
Sandwich business. Mama sandwich. I used to sell loom bands.
What's all the loom
bands?
I love it.
There's a point I was selling clothes. I used to do so many. I think I just liked the activity. I don't even think it was survival. I actually enjoyed it. Yes.
Okay, good.
So fourth year finished, and I was able to graduate. And I remember I dyed my whole head white. It was white. Was it white? Blonde. It was all blonde. Because I was just screaming. I was telling God, what?
You made it.
What?
Because at the beginning here, it didn't look like you were going to make it to the end of the finishing line.
There is no day in any of the 4 years I thought I'd ever graduate. It was always like, I don't think this is going to end well. Then now fifth year was the biggest of miracles. So one day I go back home in Coast, and I find my mother staying at her friend's place. But it wasn't like the best situation.
Scenario, yeah.
And then I sit there and I'm wondering, ma'am, you have to take in all this so that I can be in school. It's not a must. I'm a business woman. I can make money for us, don't worry. Because sometimes juggling between architecture and doing work is a bit hard. For us, you actually have to focus in school. That's one of the things even the teachers used to tell us. So I told her, 50 and 60, I don't even want it. Let me just start working.
But is it part of the architecture degree that you do 4 years and then you have to do the next 2 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you have to, in order for you to eventually become an architect.
Okay.
Then my mom was like, no, we have given so much and God has come through for 4 years. Imagine this is half the time. I was like, wow, yes. Then I went back to school. And one day, I didn't have school fees for 5th year. Mom called me and told me there's a harambe at home. I was like, a harambe? She was like, yeah, you need to come tomorrow. I'm like, what? Tomorrow? Okay, fine. Mimi on a bus with my friend, and then we went to Coast. Do you know, where we stay, there's a city council parking, and there's a road, like it's literally outside. I find they've put a tent, there's a PA, and there are seats. In the middle of the streets, I was like, guy, my education is this important.
Can you imagine, Jerry?
And the part that really touched my heart is when a tuk-tuk guy came with his tuk, because it was a parking, came with his tuk-tuk and gave out 1,500 bob for the Arambe. And then I was like, for you to panda a tuk-tuk, it's always 20 shillings.
Imagine how long it's taken this man
to build up 1,500. And that day I was like in shock, and it really inspired me a lot. And now I started fighting for architecture. I said I have to finish and have to make something out of it. So that's why I say my 6 years has been the story of 1,000 little miracles. Like, even let's imagine like this model, Pastor Angie, at least I went through it with you. It cost a lot of money.
I was actually quite shocked at the cost of the model, because it's Governance Monday. We're trying to encourage the young people out there, but also because you did it, God did it for you, you know? But also like this model, I was like, how are people affording this model to make them?
It's crazy, because one of my classmates, I remember, he didn't finish architecture 6 years. Because
he didn't make his model?
He wasn't able to make it. He did his project, which actually the model is not like the biggest part of marks, but it is like, it is mandatory at the end of the day. You have to have it.
And this project cost you almost, if I'm not wrong, it was around 60,000.
Yes.
To do this project.
Yes. It's actually quite expensive. And I remember when I was doing this, and this was during COVID time. No, also God works in miraculous ways, and people came together
to help
me do this. And for me, I'm like, hey, God, this architecture is yours, so we move at your pace. Yeah.
But I love also the detail. You know, as we finish up, I just wanted to. I love the detail. I love the trees. I'm like, gosh, I was even asking who makes these trees, but you made these. You cut these out now according to what you have been learning in this architecture.
Yes, so this is miniature. So this was my thesis project, whereby we were talking about affordable student housing, which is a passion, which maybe I'll talk about. But so, you know, when you've come about to the concept and the drawings, the lecturers ask you to do a miniature model, so as you can get the detail and the flow. So when the lecturer is asking, if somebody enters maybe the gate in there, where do they go? So that's why we do the model to actually, it's kind of we've built, but of course on a very small scale.
To showcase it.
Yes.
Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed that. First of all, if you're a young person out there, be encouraged, yes? God can help you fulfill your dreams. This is a living testimony. we haven't removed half the drama. The drama was excess, but Njeri completed her 6 years in architecture school. Thank you for Kenyans. I also love that. I love that we love to help. You know, we come together, we rally around a situation like the tuk-tuk guy and other people who just said, this is important, let's get this done. So we're really grateful that it's a miracle, and wanted to celebrate our miracle with you, but also to ask you to have faith for miracles and to know that God can move mountains, and that when things happen and doors close, it's not the end of everything. God is there, because you couldn't even see it.
Yeah.
But here we are. That's why I told you when to come with your model. God bless you as we continue our conversation with Njeri. See you next Monday.